All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Is e-learning the right choice for your child? I'm Rishabh Sharma, a master teacher at SISYA Class and also an alumni from IIT Jodhpur. I'm thrilled to have an incredible panel of experts with us to discuss this timely as well as an important topic. Let me introduce our panelists. First, we have Nadeem Hafiz, a physics master teacher at SISYA Class and also an alumni of NIT Srinagar. Next, we have Priyanshi Jain, chemistry master teacher at SISYA Class and an alumni of NIT Jalandhar. Moving forward, we have Kriti Kochar, chemistry master teacher at SISYA Class and an alumni of IIT Mandi. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's dive right in. Okay, Nadeem, let's start with you. From your experience as a physics master teacher, why do you think is e-learning gaining so much traction these days?
Yeah, hello everyone first. Hello parents, a very warm welcome to the SISYA class. So this webinar, as you know, is all about the e-learning. So we are going to debunk all the myths which are related to it and the facts also. So as Rishabh sir said that, what is it that e-learning is viable for the kids? So there is one thing. We say this is a very, very common saying that the change is the only constant, be it in any field. And happily, in case of our education sector, this change has happened in this form, e-learning form. Now, there are certain aspects of this e-learning which are really beneficial as compared to the offline classes. Like, for example, it offers a flexibility. Now, flexibility in what sense? There is a flexibility in the multi-dimensions. For example, a student can join the class from anywhere, from their home, they can join the class from the library. So it offers flexibility in that sense. Similarly, for example, a kid is in online class, live class, and he didn't understand some concepts. Now, after live classes, the kid can go for that recorded session also. Or some kids, they miss the class, they miss the live class. So they can also see that the recording of that. So it's not the flexibility in one dimension only, it's the flexibility in the multi-dimension. So this is the biggest reason that I feel that online learning, the e-learning, is a very, very good option for the kids these days. Thank you, Rishi.
Well, yeah, thank you so much, sir. Well, there are certain advantages, and clearly you have mentioned it, and I couldn't agree with you more. Moving forward, Priyanshi, as a chemistry master teacher, what's your take on this?
Thank you, Rishabh. So, hello, parents. I welcome you all. So, Rishabh, coming to your question, I have seen firsthand how e-learning can complement traditional teaching. So, in a country like India, where teacher-student ratios are often irregular, and we can say that e-learning platforms can fill these gaps. So, they provide access to quality resources, especially in rural areas where good teachers had to come by.
Yeah, well, this certainly is true, and especially true for me, and I'm suppose for many of us sitting here in this webinar, it is true. We all come from a very like not a very privileged background, and to have the access to India's top teachers, this e-learning can provide a very good way. Thank you, Priyanshi ma'am. Okay, Kriti, as another chemistry master teacher, what benefits do you see for the students for this e-learning that we are talking about?
First of all, hello everyone. A warm welcome to all parents who are attending this webinar. It's a request from my side if everyone just turn on their camera if it's okay for you so that we can see you guys and we can have better feel for the meeting. So as Rishabh sir asked me about what I think for the e-learning program, we actually have seen like e-learning is something which has modified an education, keeping the roots where the content is same, but providing an alternative method to learn. And whether it's a metro city or it's a small village or any other place, the e-learning is something which is making a very good impact. And by accessing the high quality content through the e-learning platform, and we as a SISYA classes also provide e-learning in a very interactive method, and we give interactive tools and make learning more effective. And since it's happening at your own home and it's happening at your own pace, this is a cost effective as compared to the traditional coaching classes. So that's
Hmm.
I have according to me.
Yeah, very well put up, especially the cost effectiveness. I have often seen the price difference between the offline teaching and this e-learning is huge, and it is at affordable also. And as mentioned by both Pradeep sir as well as Priyanshi ma'am, this truly exists. But what about challenges? Let's talk about challenges now. Nadeem sir, what are some concerns you think parents might have about e-learning? Can you address them?
Okay. Yes, Rishabh sir. So the concerns which I feel that the parents will be having, obviously I will think from my perspective. If you ask me what will be the challenge in the e-learning, I like to interact a lot with my friends. Okay, when I was a kid, when I was a school going kid, I used to interact a lot with my friends. So that's the one challenge. They can ask that face-to-face interaction will not happen in the online setting. But we can change this thing. Like there is the discussion groups we can make. For example, there is the group of 30 students in the class. We can divide them into the three sections, into the three groups. Okay. And if I am teaching the Newton's laws of motion, for example, I will say that first 10 students will be discussing the Newton's first law, similarly, second and the third. So this is what parents can also do. Apart from the online setting, they can ask after the class, they can ask their kids to go out and, interact with their friends and all. So this way we balance the things, both online as well as offline. We take benefits from both.
Well, that is a very good example of how we are, like avoiding the risk of students feeling isolated, and especially given the example. And since you have been teaching for so long, this puts right in.
Yes.
But Priyanshi,
Yes.
coming to you, Priyanshi, what challenges do you see from an educator's perspective? Like as an educator who is also, see, the paradigm is shifting for everyone, be it students, teachers, or students. As a educator, what challenges do you see?
Yes, Rishabh, there are so many challenges. Mainly, the digital divide is a huge challenge for all of us. Not all students have access to devices or reliable internet. So, additionally, some teachers are not tech savvy also, and which can hinder the effectiveness of e-learning. So, we need government support and private sector support also to bridge these gaps.
Very well point. Teachers, not all teachers are tech savvy. But I think, yeah,
Right.
this point you have mentioned is pretty good. Kriti, here's a question for you, one interesting one. All these challenges that we have discussed up till now, how do you address these challenges in your teaching style, in the way you teach to a kid?
So according to me, I'll say the biggest challenge would be focus. Like, if we are learning on a phone, if we are learning on a laptop, the major thing we have to maintain is focus. And e-learning, like, how we can do that, how we can resolve that problem is like making the live classes interactive. For example, if
Hmm.
I'm taking a class, when I'm teaching something, I'm constantly asking my students, like, are you hearing this? Let me know what is the point. If I'm putting some quizzes and, some brainstorming questions, just making them lively in the home, lively at their own place. And we can also, encourage parents also and other peers also, like, they can connect through it. And we can make an online group and online forum where all students are interacting. So this is like from both the sides, from the teachers as well as from the student side.
Well, that's certainly true. We have to, this is a very good step. We can make some breakout rooms for the students also, and it will be proctored by teachers as well. But this will certainly uh, enhances our teaching. Very good point,
Rishabh
Priyanshi.
sir, can I
Kriti.
add something more?
Yeah, of course, sir, please.
Yeah. So basically, as a teacher, as online teachers, we would say that we spend more time on online. We spend more time in front of screen. But despite of that fact, if the parents not know here, I am from Himalayas, and every Sunday we go for trekking, we go for outings, we go in the hills and the mountains. So if we can manage, certainly if parents want, they can manage it as well for their kids. They can set the routine and accordingly it will happen.
Well, that is certainly true. That is true. I agree with you, Nadeem, sir. Okay,
Yes.
hear me out. See, I often believe that this teaching a child is the ecosystem. In this ecosystem, of course, the student is there, of course, a teacher is there. But there's one very important point, and that is parents. So, Nadeem sir, coming to you only, what do you think? What role do parents play? Parents, specifically parents
Oh,
play in making this e-learning a successful idea, successful, a successful mindset of how we are shifting from traditional.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. A very big role is of the parents. Okay,
Of course,
sir.
true.
For example, we would say that it is very easy to go for the passive screen time, when we are using our mobile phones or when we are using our laptops and all. It is very easy. For example, we go for the Instagram, we go for the YouTube, and we are just scrolling the reels and the shorts, and the time is spent by we don't know. So what parents can do is that they can fix a schedule for the kids that for this much time, these many hours, you will be studying online. Then for these many hours, you can go for the homework and all the things, problem solving things. And then certainly they should fix a time for the kids that you have to go out and play. You have to be in the some sports, such that they are physically active as well. So this is what the parents can do, and believe me, it will do wonders for these.
Well, certainly true. We often hear this saying that a fit body and a fit mind exist coherently. So, that is
Absolutely.
a very good point. But coming to that point, one more thing. I was talking about this ecosystem. So, we have child, we have on one place, we have parents, but one important factor we all choose to ignore is the most of the time the child spends is in a school. So, Priyanshi, let's talk to you. What do you think? How can school supports e-learning, or how can school, contribute in this idea?
That's a very good question. Okay, so schools, what they can do is they can provide some training for the teachers so that they can effectively use the e-learning tools. They should also ensure that students have access to these devices and as well as the internet also. So blended teaching models that can be used and which combines online and offline methods also, and that can be very effective for all of us.
This point I agree very much. Why? Because see, this blended learning is the future. We have to combine both offline and online learning. So this is a very good point to raise. Hmm. But Kriti ma'am, coming to all of this, the discussion we have heard from you, I just wanted to conclude it. Any tips you have for parents or schools from your experience? You have a huge experience. You are a chemistry master teacher for so long. Any points on that, ma'am?
Uh, Rishabh sir, I feel it's like a teamwork. We as a teacher, we as like, the parents, school, all has to come together and, understand the importance of e-learning. Uh, we have to choose something which is right for our student, which is right for our world. And, uh, for example, if I'm a teacher, I'm teaching something live. I'm teaching them the content. I'm having live one-to-one connection, and all those parents, what they can do, they can check the progress, they can track the progress. And if I'll say about the school, it's like, they can make their curriculum in a better manner, and something supportive in order to have these classes more effective, and more in a smooth manner. So choose the right platform, where all this can come together and support student.
Correct. As you mentioned, teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And I was talking about this ecosystem, and it cannot exist if the teamwork is not there. I agree with you. I want to share one experience. See, as a child, my parents used to force me to keep on studying. I believe that it was not about me in per se, it was about how I used to learn things. So let's move on to our next question with this thought, which is very critical for both parents as well as students alike. Now, since the e-learning has come up, how do we ensure that the syllabus created is up to the mark, first of all? Second, it is engaging as well, so that students like me also feel the thrill, also feel the interest to study. Nadeem, sir, let's start with you. As a physics master teacher at SISYA class, how do you approach this?
Okay. Yes, sir. A very good question again. As you said that, what happened to you in the school, same happened with me. Okay. I wasn't studious, I wasn't topper at school. The main reason is the content. The main reason is the syllabus or the way in which it was taught. I just didn't know why we are studying in the school time. What is this all about? Okay. It's only after I went to class 11th and 12th, therein we have the fixed syllabus and there are, the teachers are there, the mentors are there. So then I got it. Similarly, the same thing I observed when I was in the NIT Srinagar doing my BTech. Now, during the BTech, we had the students, we had the classmates from the other states as well, who studied from Kota and other things. Now, in Srinagar, we didn't had any big coaching center that time. So therein I got it. Okay, there is one thing, the syllabus is the main thing, or the way in which it is taught. That also matters a lot. What we do at the SISYA classes is that we have the great teachers who are from IITs and the NITs. Now, not only that they are from IITs and NITs, so they will be able to make the good syllabus. They're dedicated. There is a passion, there is a spark for the teaching for all our teachers. So what we do is that the teachers here thoroughly go for the syllabus. They go for the trends, okay, which are going on, particularly in the competitive exams for NEET and JEE exams. So every topic is studied thoroughly, and out of those topics, there are certain topics, obviously, which are not that much, which doesn't carry that much weightage in the competitive exams. So we make sure whatever content, whatever syllabus we are framing at SISYA classes, that is for these competitive exams.
Very good point. I'll just interrupt and take this time to welcome all the parents, those who are joined late. So, parents, once again, welcome to this webinar hosted by SISYA Class. I'm sure you will having this so many questions of yours at phone. I kindly request you to be patient. Once we are done with our discussion, I will open the Q&A session and then we can ask it. Once again, from my side and all of the teachers panel here at SISYA, we welcome you. Moving forward. Thank you, Nadeem sir, for this wonderful explanation of how we can do that. Priyanshi, as a chemistry master teacher, see, chemistry, when I was a student, I never liked it. But as a chemistry master teacher, how do you ensure the syllabus is both comprehensive? First of all, it is a vast syllabus. That is the one reason why I never like chemistry. But how do you ensure that the syllabus is both comprehensive as well as interesting?
Yes, I agree. The syllabus is very comprehensive, but it is also interesting. So what we do at SISYA class, so we believe that a syllabus should be more than just a collection of topics. So it should tell a story. For if we talk about chemistry only, so we can break down the complex into smaller or digestible modules. So each module is designed in such a way to build on the previous one that ensures a strong foundation. Okay. And our team of IITians and NITians spent countless hours researching and curating content that is not only aligned with the latest syllabus, but it also includes some interactive elements like animations are there, real life examples are there, practical experiments also. So, for instance, when teaching, let's talk about organic chemistry, we use 3D models to help the students to visualize all the chemicals and molecules. So they can visualize reactions in such a way that makes the learning process much more engaging. That will be helpful.
Well, only if I was taught in this manner. Maybe I would like chemistry more.
Yeah.
Okay. Kriti
Same
ma'am,
here.
sorry.
Rishabh, sir.
Yeah,
Same here.
I think we all agree on this. Okay.
Yeah.
Kriti ma'am, sorry to reiterate this question one more time, but as another chemistry master teacher at SISYA class, how do you ensure the same thing that the syllabus, first of all, remains relevant? And how will you make engaging for students like me or maybe Nadeem sir or maybe many other students for us?
So this is the most important question from every parent can come. I know the syllabus thing, and we have with our experience, we have actually know what to do and what not to do, and we have made two things important while making a syllabus. Like, it should be relevant, it should be concise, and it should be something very engaging. So these are the things we have worked upon. And when it's like, when we incorporate certain things, for example, when we are including quizzes, video lectures, and fun sessions, we keep in mind that it is something where student can feel with us, and they can feel the class it's happening, and something they are learning. So for example, if I'll say, in we have three type of chemistries. We have organic, inorganic, and we have physical. So
Correct.
some part of it require your memory, like you have to memorize. Certain part require your solving power, and certain part require both, where you have to solve, you have to memorize, you have to understand. So inorganic, like if I'll take example of inorganic chemistry, and in that part we have to memorize certain things. So when every person is different and they have different grasping power, so we can't force anyone to just go and memorize. We make it more
Correct.
fun. How, like we have tricks. We in our school time also we have learned certain tricks and we can use it now. We have certain mnemonics, quizzes, and fun gaming sessions we used to do in our school time. We can include that and make more engaging and more incorporative with our concept of e-learning. So that's how we can solve this problem.
Correct, correct. This brings so many memories when I was trying to remember the periodic table or
Yeah,
you
exactly.
told, yeah, inorganic chemistry. I was
All the
always good at
equations are there.
exactly. I was always good at physical chemistry, but this inorganic, yeah, again, the same horrors is repeating for me.
It,
Moving
it's
on.
it's usually the people are physical, inorganic, or organic and inorganic part
Yeah,
mostly. But yeah,
Yeah,
some can do both.
they find organic very typical and tough.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Same used to happen with me.
Yeah, I
Great,
can
great, great.
understand.
Yeah, okay. So great. So coming about the syllabus part, I have often seen how the syllabus trends as well as the syllabus section, like how the NCRT keeps on changing or how the examination keeps on changing. So Nadeem sir, one question. Being at a SISYA class, how does SISYA class ensure that the syllabus stays updated with the latest trends and the ever-changing exam patterns?
Okay, sir. So related to this syllabus thing, I would say that, see, the teaching to the point, okay, or giving the syllabus to the point to the students, it is the most important thing. Okay. For example, some years back when we didn't have that much online learning, Delhi was known for the UPSC coaching.
Hmm.
Kota was
Yes.
known for the JEE coaching.
Correct,
And
correct.
similarly, Hyderabad and others, they were known for the GATE coaching. So there was reason to it. The syllabus taught there, or the modules given there, they were to the point. Okay, I would give one such example, Rishabh sir.
Yes,
Like
please, sir.
right after my graduation, I was appearing for the civil service, state civil services, just for
Oh,
fun. I was not that serious. So I took a small course online. It was of the Delhi. There was a very famous teacher of history. I took a very short course of that. Okay. And prelims qualified. I said, okay, I was in Srinagar. Okay. The teacher was somewhere else. Okay. It's very far. So similarly, why? The reason was very simple. I could like see the questions directly. Again, if not directly, they were related to what was taught in the class. So this is very important. And what we do at the SISYA classes is that if there is some change in the pattern, okay, there is change in the weightage of the topics. For example, there is a topic circular motion. The weightage changes, for example, after 7 years. So what we do is that we have the dedicated set of teachers who see these trends, who go for these trends. And accordingly, we reflect that in our syllabus, in our module. So that's how the student, who is studying with us, who is studying at the SISYA classes, they get exactly what they need, nothing less, nothing more.
very good point. And this gives me a chance to introduce our curriculum development team. How our curriculum development team works very hard to make sure to ensure that all the syllabus is covered and we highlight what parts of it. See the trends. You agree with me, Nadeem? So that the trends keeps on changing, but
Keeps on
the
changing.
important weightage of some chapters is always relevant to this.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
thank you so much, Nadeem sir. Meanwhile, let
Thank
me
you so
take
much.
this one more opportunity to welcome some more parents have joined us. So once again, welcome parents from me and my SISYA's teachers panel. A very warm welcome to everyone. We are having a wonderful discussion, and let's move forward with this. Okay, next thing. Priyanshi ma'am, how do you ensure that the syllabus is not just theoretical, but also practical and application based? Now, see, the reason why I asked this question is because the learners are different and everyone has a different profile of learning.
Yes.
See, if you have the same theoretical syllabus where the students just read the question and give the answer, and this is more like a rote learning. But how will you ensure that we create a syllabus which is just not theoretical, but has some practical and application aspect as well?
Yes, that's a great point, Rishabh. So at SISYA class, we believe in the concept of applied learning. For example, if I talk about chemistry, we don't just teach the theory behind chemical reactions. We can also show students how these reactions are used in industries like pharmaceuticals, agriculture, and even every day-to-day life. So we also include a lot of problem-solving exercises and case studies as well, which can challenge these type of students to think critically and apply their knowledge in everyday life. So this not only makes the syllabus more engaging and also prepares them to for the real world challenges. So this way can this in this way we can take them forward.
Well, that is certainly true. But okay, I also mentioned that we have a different learning profile of different students. Not all students are same. I think I'm speaking on the behalf of everyone that in our all here we have observed that each student is unique. So my next question is to Preeti ma'am. Then how do you ensure, like not you, how does SISYA class ensure that the syllabus caters to students with different learning style? Well, some are learned through examples, some learn by doing. How does SISYA class ensures this?
Exactly, like we have different variety of human around us, and sometime you learn by writing it down, sometime you learn by just watching the class. Sometime, for example, if I'll take example of my brother, he used to recite loudly, and then he
Hmm.
used to revise things. Uh, when we are at Sisya, we have a curriculum in that manner that it suits for all. Like we have video lectures, we have quizzes, we have fun sessions, we have doubt solving sessions. All this will somehow cater the large part of the students, which sometimes is missing in the the regular type of teaching. Because I'm not saying any negative thing for them, but sometimes it's like a just they come and teach and go. But here we have different techniques and tools which help them to learn better and more. And all these kind of things can be effective. And mostly students interact. Sometimes we feel like in a class, in a regular class, some student hesitate to ask something, whereas in the online platform they can take benefit of that. Like maybe they are not in sitting with everyone, and they don't have any hesitation, so they can come and up and ask doubts. That is another benefit where we can we are providing that solution.
Correct,
So yeah,
correct, correct.
that's how.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I agree
I
with
have
you.
never asked out in the school time. Never. I
Yeah,
was so shy
it is
in the
there.
class.
And
I've never asked any doubt.
even your doubt
Yeah.
is
Same.
logical one also, but you have
Yes.
hesitation that what others gonna think about it.
Yeah, students often
Exactly.
feel shy about asking the
Exactly.
questions.
Yeah, so this
I have
this
to spend a lot of years in my school, so my classmates will
Yes.
laugh at me.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. See,
Everything is
this is a very serious point because each
happens.
student must be facing this. Some students are like always, if even if they have doubts, they will not ask.
Yeah. So
Exactly,
this is
sir.
like,
Exactly.
the online it is easy, like no one is around you and you can have the doubt. No one is
Yes.
going to judge you. So
Correct,
it's
Even
correct.
the teachers at school, when they hear, when they see that I am in the teaching, they say, "How? Like you were so shy, you
Mhm.
never asked any question in the class."
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
So it happens with the kids.
exactly.
yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you all for such detailed answers. One thing which is clear to me that SISYA class, the syllabus is not just about covering the topics. No, it's about creating an engaging, relevant, and comprehensive learning experience for students. I think we all agree with this. Well, thank you all for this insightful discussion. It is clear that e-learning has immense potential, but it requires careful implementation. And of course, as I mentioned before, the collaboration between parents, schools, and the third, that is policymakers. So let's work together to make it a success for our children. To our audience, thank you for joining us and thank you for being patient. I'm certain you will be having so many questions. Please drop them in the chat box and we'll answer in our Q&A session coming right up. I request all the parents, all the attendees to please ask your question in the chat box. Okay, we have our first question. Okay, so the question I'll just narrate it one more time. Does e-learning negatively impact children's social skills? Well, that is a very good question, very good point as well. So, anyone of the panel member, will you be coming to answer that?
Okay,
Yes.
I can discuss about
Yeah,
this.
ma'am, please.
So, negatively impact social skill, as in, for example, when you are, I know that, it's very difficult for parents to understand that we are learning from the phone. But
Hmm.
when there is a live session happening, when there is a sound coming from the phone that, teacher is teaching, and you are focused there, and, as in our platform we have a app like this that if you just switch to other Chrome or some other tab, it will remove, I mean, the class will end, and so you can't leave the class actually. And social skill, as in, you take the class, you have your learning here, and the time you have saved while, traveling to other coaching institute or other schools and all, you can use the time and, go play around. It's never the concept that, if you're learning on the phone, you can't, go and interact with other, other students and other people. It's, you can go and play actually by providing education at your home, and, it is making more accessibilities, and it's saving time so that you can use that time and go play around. If I always say in these classes, that no matter what, how the hard studies are going, take out 1 hour, take out half an hour so that you can go out and play. Outdoor activities is also important, so it's not going to hamper that. It's going
Yeah,
to
well,
save
that,
it.
correct, correct. Well, that is a very
Rishabh,
growing
Rishabh, sir,
concern
can I
that is
add some
happening right now.
points?
Yeah, answer, please.
Yes. So basically, when we talk about social skills, the interactive skills, like the classes online, they will hardly be for 2 hours or at max 3 hours. That's the maximum I'm saying. So rest all of the time they are at school, they are already socializing with the kids, or after the classes are finished, they are still interactive. So this is not this will hamper the online this skills. So this will be taken care of in online. This is not the case. Social skills will be there for the kids.
Hmm. Correct, correct. Well, that is a very good point. I also will encourage parents to come on the mic and ask the questions. If you have any questions, you can always unmute and ask the questions. So, if parents are you willing, I'll encourage you to please unmute your mic and ask the questions directly to our expert panel. Meanwhile, I have one more question. That is a very good question. So, it's from Priya ma'am. How accessible is it for students to ask doubts post class? I think what she's trying to say is even after the class, how will a student can ask the question to the teacher?
Okay, Rishabh, let me answer this. So, if a student wants to ask doubts, so in e-learning, he can or she can ask their doubt. Like we have also AI option, so that AI can answer, and the AI is available 24/7. Even educators are available all the time, so he or she can ask their doubts very easily. Sometimes what happens is the student he hesitated when he or she asks the doubt to an educator in offline section. But in online, we can say the student has this advantage that he will never feel hesitated because there is nobody to judge him. If he even asks a very small doubt or a very minute doubt he can ask it easily. So e-learning has that advantage that he can ask his doubts whenever he wants, even at night if he wants to ask anybody he can just go into the app and then search for it and he'll get the answer. That is very advantageous for them.
This is a huge advantage a child has here. I also would like to point one more thing that we are having at SISYA class is the mentor. Maybe Nadeem sir or Kriti ma'am, can you give some insights on how mentor support is provided to a student at SISYA?
uh,
Yes.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, ma'am, please speak.
So we have mentors, specially assigned for doubt solving session. Like, when we are having classes, once the class is done, if any student have a doubt, they can directly contact to the mentor, and mentor are there for doubt solving only. Like, once if there is a thing like, mentor couldn't solve their doubt, the doubt can also come to us, and we are always there. So
Hmm.
they play the role in doubt solving part, especially for that. We have, a fixed table for it.
Oh,
I see
okay.
there's one more, I think, uh, Ravi's. Prakash.
I think some parent is unmuted. Parents, if you have any questions, I would again encourage you to please open your mic and straight away ask them. If you're hesitant, you can also ask your doubt in the chat box.
Apart from
Good
this,
point.
Pradeep sir, we'll be going for the AI also. There will be that will be available 24/7 for the kids. They have doubts, they can post it so they can get the answer for the questions. They can
Wonderful.
get their doubts cleared.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So coming to one more question, it's from Ravi Prakash. If a student is struggling to understand a concept in an online class, well, it happens sometimes. What are the best ways to provide support and ensure that they grasp the topic effectively? Well, that is a very good question coming from I think a parent as well. Yeah, please.
Yes.
Anyone of you.
Okay, so I'll take this question. Okay. So basically, if the student is in the live class, first of all, even the shyest student, he will ask doubt. Okay. If a student has the doubt, he will ask it or she will ask it. Because they don't have this thing that they know me, I have my friends around me, and they will laugh at this question. So they straight away ask the doubt, and the teachers will be taking the live classes. They will solve it. But let's suppose for certain reasons, a student couldn't get the concept. Now, after the live classes, they can watch the recorded sessions also. So if you didn't understand it first time, go for it second time. If you didn't understand it second time, go for the third time. And still didn't understand, you have the mentor support available, which can clear your doubts all the time.
Mhm. Well, that is a great point. Just to add on this question, does SISYA class provide any support materials or any resources for the students?
Yeah, regarding the modules, the after the class, for example, I'm teaching electricity chapter. Electricity chapter, they will get the content, they will get the material which they will study, and accordingly, it will not be aligned. It will be aligned with the live classes. Whatever I'm teaching in the online class, or whatever the teachers are teaching in the live class, the content will be given according to that, so that the student will relate to it. I have seen it in offline classes. When we teach, okay, whatever I speak in the class, I make the students write the same thing. So that way they connected it. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much, Nadeem sir, for answering that question. I will again encourage parents to open their mic and ask the doubts. Yes. Please ask, sir.
You, ma'am, you have any doubt? You have raised your hand?
You can
Yes.
ask your doubt straight away.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
How can you cover all the syllabus, entire syllabus of 11th standard and 12th standard before NEET exam? How can you cover? And what kind of multiple type of test? How can you arrange on the basis of regular interval of time?
Hmm. Thank you so much for asking this question. This is a very important question. I will ask Kriti ma'am to answer this question specifically since this is in the direction of NEET. So, ma'am, first thing the sir asked is how we will ensure that the entire grade 11 and the previous grade syllabus is covered before the NEET exam. You are muted, ma'am.
So basically, we design the syllabus as per the week. Like as in for the whole year, we have one syllabus, and for the week, it's divided into week part. Like for example, this chapter is completed in this week. Then we have the end test gonna be happen every week. So for example, NEET paper used to happen in May and June. So we design in such a manner that the syllabus is covered till December. Still, we have good amount of time, or December, or I should say, max to max January, not even January. We'll reach to that level. We mostly cover till December. Till the JE part is also covered. So we have a good amount of time where we can revise the previous concept, and the syllabus is full syllabus is divided in the week syllabus, so that will ensure and help us also that we are on the right track and right pace. So there is no issue for syllabus completion. It usually happen before, and for NEET it is very, it's because NEET have good amount of time. For
Correct.
NEET, easy to have it.
Correct. Just to add on to this answer, we also, once the syllabus is done in the December, as mentioned by Kriti ma'am, we ensure that the student gives ample amount of tests, and tests are all India test series where he will be knowing his exact ranking in the nation.
Yeah, number of tests gonna happen after the syllabus completion. Like, you can go for revision classes. Your revision classes are there. We can have multiple tests. So yeah, there is no issue for the NEET. I'll say for NEET especially, there is no problem with syllabus completion. It was never.
Correct. I think same goes for the JEE as well.
Yeah, that is also there.
Noor sir, I hope we have answered your question. If you have any follow-up questions, please feel free to ask.
No, sir. I got answer.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Any other parent, if you're having any other question, you may raise your hand or directly unmute and ask away your question. I will encourage all the parents to ask their questions right now.
Pratyusha ma'am has some doubt. She raised her hand.
Yes, Pratyusha ma'am, please, you can unmute and start
Hi,
talking.
sir. My son is studying in ninth standard right now. And if I join him in this class, how can I know about the progress of the child, if he's doing good or not in the class, or he is listening to the class? What will be the...
Correct. That is a very valid question. So I'll ask Ahmed sir or Kriti ma'am, any panel member. I just wanted to, I think what ma'am is talking about, how the mentor is going to provide support and how we are going to track the progress.
Okay. So, sir, first of all, I would say that, see, in the offline classes, there are 50 students in the class. So it is impossible, to look at each and every student and point out the mistakes and point out the doubts which they will be having. In an online setting, we use the AI tools for that. The students can get, for example, based on the tests they're giving 10 tests, for example. Based on their performance, they get the tracking that how they are performing, how the kids are performing, that the teachers can, that the parents can see. Apart from that, for every, in every class, for like 5 minutes, we'll be talking with the parents itself, that how their kids are doing, after the classes, are they revising the things or not? So parents need not to worry about this thing, that how come we know about that how our kids are performing or not. So for 5 minutes, that 5 minutes will be for the parents and the teachers only.
Correct. Just
I
to
want
add on
to
to,
add, you can speak.
yeah, just to add on to this answer, I would like to also mark this fact that each student will be provided with a dedicated mentor support. Now,
Yes.
the role of this mentor is two things. First of all, he will clear all the doubts if the student is having post classes. It's not like we'll be having only one class in a day. A student can take a number of classes. It can be provided mentor, or if requested, the teacher can also take. Second thing, the second job of the mentor is to keep the track of his learning abilities. Like in a class, how many questions he has solved. Out of these questions, how many were correct, how many were not attempted, or how many were wrong. So that is one point I would like to add. So Priyanshu ma'am, you were saying something.
Yes, so I was saying that we have designed our courses in such a way that we have weekly classes, and then we keep a track record of weekly classes and weekly tests over there, so that we can tell their parents on a weekly basis that how much the student has studied, how much he has attempted the lectures and their quizzes, their test series also. So in that way, we can summarize a weekly report of that particular student and send to their parents.
I hope this answers the question, Pratyusha ma'am. If you have any other follow-up question, you may ask.
Sir, you said you are going to keep tests and all, okay? Weekly tests and all. That weekly test will be some time-based or anything else? Means a particular time will be allotted to the student?
Okay. For that question, yes. So Nadeem sir, would you like to answer this?
Yes. So basically, yes, time frame will be there for all the tests. Like for example, I'm taking an example for on Monday, we are keeping the test for motion, the chapter in the class 9. Okay. So there will be a certain time, if I'll be giving the 10 questions, there will be, let's suppose, 30 minutes to solve all the questions. So within the time, the student has to, appear in the exam and finish the exam. Yes, time will be allotted.
And all the tests will be timed as well.
Yes.
Nowadays, these kids are getting very smart and they can Google
Yeah.
they can Google it for the answer.
Fine,
Yeah.
ma'am. But yeah, See,
Ma'am,
our
there is a
question.
thing also like, when you are giving online tests, you can't change the tab. Once you change the tab, it, give a signal also. There is something related to it also. So it won't be a problem. And
Okay.
as per your time frame, we have to give a time frame. Otherwise, if for example they are connected online, they got by chance they got a number, and someone is giving a test at 5 and someone is giving test at 6. The person giving test at 6 will definitely get to know the question from the person who has given at
Yeah.
5. So we want to avoid that, and we want to keep one specific time for all the students appearing. So that will be there.
And
That sure.
And ma'am,
Correct.
see, you asked that they can go for the Google, they can see it in the Google. Okay. What I can assure is that the questions will be set in a way that, first of all, the, if the questions are not directly available, mostly the questions will not be directly available on the Google. Okay. So if the student is copying something, he has to apply his mind. Okay. It's not that directly they will
Yeah.
answer, they will take the answers and they will answer it. They will use their mind. If I am giving the question on first law, second equation of motion example,
Okay.
so they will have to apply the second law. So they will learn, by that way. So you don't have to worry that they will directly copy from the Google. Be
One
assured.
more thing, one
Yes.
more thing. So there will be Viva classes also. So the teacher will come to know that the student cannot cheat in that. It will be an oral session, oral test session. So in that way, the student cannot cheat or cannot Google it from somewhere.
Correct.
And if
Correct.
I talk about chemistry, many a times you'll see on the Google one question ke liye there are two answers. So
True.
uh,
True.
it's very difficult when you come to Google searching. You are actually giving 50%. You are sure for 50%, not 100%. So it's
Yes.
just
Even on
like
the AI, I gave some numericals and solved, wrong. The wrong
yeah,
solutions were there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for asking this question. All right. Any other parent, if you have any other question, you may raise your hand and directly come to the mic. You can ask. Meanwhile, I have one more question. This is a good one. AI in a classroom is a revolution or a risk? So, lots of debate going on this topic. I would like to hear what our panels say about this topic.
okay, sir. So I would clearly say that it's a good thing. Having the AI is the good thing. Okay. We
Okay.
are not saying that we entirely are replacing the teachers, okay, or the human thing. We're just saying that you just need to add on. This is an add on. AI will be an add on in the class. Or visual learning, for example, they have asked AV. Okay. There are a lot of simulations which we can use, virtual labs, which we can use in the class. The most of the learners, I would say, I am myself the learner who learns by seeing things. Okay. So when they see the things actually in the class, so they tend to learn it very, very quickly. So for me, AI is the bonus for the students these days.
Hmm. Great, great point. But it has some risk also. Anyone of you would like to emphasize on the risk of AI having in the classroom?
Oh, I'll just it's not just the classroom. One day I was just learning some from podcast and all, and I heard a very good line. It's not my line. I'll just say that
Please.
if you consider AI as your helper, not as your master, then it's all good.
Correct, correct. That is a very good point.
Help you, not to master you. The AI cannot replace you. It can only help you. Not only classroom. For example, we have a washing machine. People used to wash clothes by their hand. Now we have a washing machine. It's a helping tool, not something which can master us. So just one thing, that use it as a helper, not to master it.
Correct, correct. Very good point. Moving on, we have one more question from Chaitanya. How e-learning is going to build discipline and self-motivation among the students as they can get the recorded lectures. Okay, what I mean to say is how if their student is getting recorded lecture, how e-learning is going to help build discipline as well as self-motivation. Yes, anyone would like to answer? Priyanshi ma'am.
Yes. So we also at SISYA classes, we also have some motivational classes so that we can help the students in self motivation also. and they can talk to the educator in one-to-one. Like if in all offline classes we see the student cannot talk to the educator in one-to-one session, but here in e-learning platform the student can talk to the educator in one-to-one, can discuss their non-academic problems also. If he some days if he or she feels demotivated, so he can talk to the educator and tell the personal problem if he has. So in that way he will feel motivated, and then this way it can be helpful to him.
Well, true. Since they do provide motivation classes, and just let me just take this opportunity to have to just reveal the surprise that we are going to have a lot of motivational speakers, and those speakers truly have achieved a very huge things in life, and they will be here to guide students, to motivate students, and have this the thing that is called as self-motivation developed. All right, thank you, Priyashima, for this. One more question from Snehal Raj. In this social media driven world, well, true, so this world is driven by social media. Are there any ways to reduce the negative impact of screen time? Okay, this is the first question I've gotten for screen time while still benefiting from e-learning.
Uh, I would
Yes,
like
ma'am.
to put some light on.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, I think I believe if everyone's student is there on the Instagram, Snapchat, and all, I feel that most of them must be there. Uh, let's take an example. If for a day we are having 2 to 3 hour lecture, and then that is on the phone. So for that, you definitely need to see that phone. You are, actually using that time to learn. But even after some time, you get tired. You want to go out. You feel like you're there in the home. So screen time cannot always be something bad. Once we are using it to learn, we are using it to grow. It's okay. For example, 2 to 3 hours we have given while learning. It's a human mentality, like they will say, okay, I'm tired, I want to go out and play. So the screen time which is used, it is used for their learning process. So I think that will be avoided once they can avoid the time they spent on Instagram and some other social media app. So
Yes,
that can be
exactly.
actually switched
True, true.
the time.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, they can do certain things also, which I use personally. Uh, on the applications, if they're using Instagram or Snapchat or other applications, they can keep the notifications off completely. Okay.
Yeah.
So when they get the time, then obviously we use it a very, very less that time, when we
Mm.
keep it, or they can use the app blockers. So, yeah, because they have to use phone, as you said, for 2 hours, 3 hours, they have to use phone. So
Yeah.
for that, they can use the app blockers or they can keep the notifications off, such that they are using it only and only for the education purpose.
Yeah, using for the right purpose. So
Yes,
it
ma'am.
can be a good screen time, not a bad one.
Exactly, ma'am.
Well, yes. I'm a firm believer of this. See, some applications say WhatsApp is like very essential for these days, but I'm a very firm believer that students should not be on Instagram or
Yeah.
Snapchat in this early years. So that is one thing. And as I again said, we are talking about the agency that is parents. So as a parent, parents as an agency has to
Mm.
ensure that.
Yeah,
Great.
that's what we say, teamwork, where
Teamwork. Yes,
we require support from parents that they are not
exactly. Correct. I agree with you. Again, I would request all the parents, I would encourage all the parents to please raise your hand or directly come to the mic if you have any doubts. We'll be happy to answer. Meanwhile, I will take one more question from Mr. Kripal Singh. Okay. Mr. Kripal Singh asked, school is following books of multiple publishers. How would you ensure that the school's syllabus is completed? Well, that is a very valid point. We have different schools following different books. Also, we have different state boards as well. We have CBSE boards. We have, let's Andhra Pradesh board. We have Karnataka board, Rajasthan board. So many boards are there. How would SISYA class ensure that in a class, the school's entire syllabus is completed? Yes, anyone.
Okay, sir. So talking about the mathematics, talking about science, okay, the syllabus may be different, like the books may be different. For example, I have over here, this is the class 7th book, which is the one of the leading schools here, they use it. Sorry, you can't see it here because there's a background. So, but the main thing, the essence, okay, it is same. Okay, if there is a chapter light in the class 7th, it is same in Srinagar, it is same in Hyderabad, it is same in Vizag, it is same in other cities also. So there is no drastic change. Maybe some topics will be here and there. We cover it in as a whole. For example, there is a chapter this light. We cover it in a way that all the topics which will be in different books that will be covered.
Well, great point, great point. Kriti ma'am, you have worked very closely with our curriculum development team, and you know how much they have worked with that. Maybe you shed a light on this, like how the curriculum is being prepared, ensuring that all the syllabus is being covered.
I believe that there is no doubt on syllabus covering and syllabus preparation. We are actually not only me, as a whole team we are working. We have different teachers who have worked in different industries, and we have taken that experience. So I believe there won't be any problem with the syllabus coverage. It's just how engaging can be that syllabus. That could be a question, and that we will make sure that it's it's interactive. So
Well, true, true.
anyone who has a issue with syllabus, I firmly can say that they won't be.
One more thing I would like to again bring in the factor that each student will be given a dedicated mentor teacher. Now, the
Yeah.
mentor teacher will be ensuring that the syllabus of his school, see, some schools also follow R.D. Sharma, some schools also follow R.S. Agarwal. I'm just talking about the maths part for right now. But our mentors will ensure that the syllabus is aligned. And suppose if there are extra topics, like if you talk about the Kerala board, in Kerala board, there are some another chapters that are from 7th class are there in 5th class. So we will be ensuring that if any such chapters are there, extra classes will be provided by the master teacher as well as the mentor teachers. So, well, that is a great point. Mr. Kripal Singh, I hope we have answered your first question. If you have I will again encourage you to please come on mic and ask us. It will be a great honor for us.
Yeah, thanks, Rishabh. Yes, you have definitely addressed my question. My second question is like, what is the need of e-learning, like in terms of reducing the as a parent, my main concern is about child safety, reducing his screen time, right? So although you have answered it, but still there is something in mind that there's somehow they find the time of spending time in YouTube and all that.
True,
So
true.
there be any safety feature, like any like, so that they do not, we ensure that every time we can't keep eye on the child, that whether the class is still running on it.
True, true, true. So, sir, just to answer your second question. So, first point, yeah, well, that is a very great point that you have mentioned. So, first thing is like, I would encourage again to give the phone only to child when he's taking the classes. I would like to explain one more upcoming feature of this, yeah, is that whenever, suppose if the app is there and if the child is scrolling some other things in the background, like he's playing YouTube or playing games, anything, the notification will be come to the teacher that some other background app is open. So that is one thing that that is the feature of SISYA class. Another thing that you have asked is what is the need of e-learning? So I will request my teacher panel if you can shed some light on this.
Okay. I think Priyanshi ma'am wants. Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
No, sir, you speak, then I will.
Okay,
Yes.
fine, fine. So, sir has this question: why e-learning is important, or what's the need of this? Okay. So, sir, I'm not praising the teachers here, or I'm not praising myself. I would say one thing. For example, there is an offline center here. They hire all the teachers. They will hire all the teachers from our city only. So they have this pool, and they need to take the teachers from this pool only. Now you see here, all of us are from different cities. Okay, so this is the first thing of the online, that the teachers are taken, and they are the best of the teachers there. This is the need. Now, Priyanshi ma'am, go ahead.
Yes. So in SISYA class, we have designed our application in such a way that it keeps a track record that how much time a student has spent on the app. So it can give, we can give you a weekly report of that particular student, that how much time he has spent on the particular class, if he has attended or not. And even I suggest that students don't use phones for attending the classes, use laptops. because in laptops or computer system, they will not get notifications of any Instagram or any social media platforms. So in that way, it can be helpful that they are just focusing on the classes, on their regular classes, and they are not getting distracted by other social media notifications. So in that way, we can reduce screen time of students.
Great point. Great point. Mr. Kripal Singh, I hope we have answered your question.
Yes, yes, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. All right. If any other parents have any doubts, any questions to ask, please feel free to unmute yourself or just raise your hand. I can answer that. Okay. We have one more question in the chat. For the question is, how much screen exposure is safe for children studying online daily? So first question, I'll break the question in two parts. So first question, Kriti ma'am, will you be able to answer this? The question I'll repeat one more time. How much screen exposure is safe for children studying online daily?
This is something I can, generalize it because I am not a doctor right now, but yeah, I can just make sure that some whatever screen time is being used, it is used effectively. And I think 2-3 hours is, if you are using it for the classes, that's what I'm saying. If you're working on your phone, it's not always that you're using it for social media. You can just keep it there on a safe, on at a good distance. And we as a children also used to watch TV for a longer period of time, and just like you are watching something, but from that visual you are learning. So it's okay. I think 2-3 hours is fine if you're learning from it. So there is no as such problem. And if you go in technicality, then I won't be right person to answer that.
Correct.
But yeah, 2-3 hours for learning is fine. It's okay. It's okay.
Correct. Correct. Coming to the second part of the question, which is a very good question, I must say. What are some best practices to avoid digital fatigue? Okay, Nadeem sir has
Okay.
already has answer.
Okay, sir. So yes, as Preeti ma'am said, we are not doctors, but we also try our level best because I know that I'll be in front of a screen. I don't need this, but I keep it only when I'm in front of screen. So this is one such thing which I can relate to, that whenever the kids are in front of screen, the lenses are there. Or there is one more thing, they can follow the 20-20-20 rule. So after every 20 minutes, they look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. So by that, or in between, after the one class has finished, there will be some 5-minute break, you know, go for the walk in the room. Okay. Or what I do after these sessions are complete, after we are done with our work, I go for bowling for maybe, 15 or 20 minutes. Um, that's why I told you the other day I had the back pain. I did a lot of bowling. So
Okay.
that's what I do.
Yes.
Similarly, the kids can also do. The parents can
Yeah.
ensure this.
Yeah, that is certainly a great point. And so of course, the glasses are there, not that normal glasses, but there are some Blu-ray vision glasses
Yeah,
also there.
exactly.
Okay.
So
All
that
right.
will
Any
help.
other parents, I would again encourage you to please ask a question. Just raise your hand or you can directly unmute and ask your question. It would be a very great honor for all of us to answer as many questions as possible for all the parents. Okay. Meanwhile, let's take one more question from our chat box. Can students develop the same level of understanding and retention through e-learning? All right. So we are again comparing with the conventional learning and e-learning. Any answers?
I would say not the same level, the higher level. They can memorize it for the longer time, because as I said, that we'll be using online classes, will be using the tools which we can't use in the offline settings. So I would say more than that.
Correct. And also talking about the retention part, how the students can retain the memory. So again, as I mentioned, I used to also face this problem. This question is very close to like my childhood. And again, coming to the same subject, chemistry, which I always, you know, kind of suffered in that. So how do you increase this retention? Yeah, Kriti ma'am, maybe you would like to add on this.
Rishabh sir, you have to attend our classes.
Yeah, I will definitely.
We will, ma'am. We will. We will.
I don't know why people find chemistry boring, but okay, I'll just say it is the most interesting. It's where you can relate to the live place, live examples. It has a lot of. I know physics also have the most live, live theories and all, but for me, I'll say I am, I have learned like, the same way. Sometimes I learn like, while writing it down. Sometimes I make my own tricks also. Like, the mnemonics, the word we say mnemonics, and it's mnemonics are something which never makes sense. It's some, random Hindi word, something random, it is there. And so we definitely try to, share with students, and then they can learn it for sure. I'll remember the tricks till now. It's been like, how many years I've left school from 11 years. It's been that, I've left school, and still I remember those tricks. Something which is being made to learn, and, sometimes even, it's not just teachers, students also bring up some their own tricks. Like,
Correct,
once
correct.
we have said, there is this kind of thing you can learn, they make their own tricks and they remember easily.
True,
So pushing them and encouraging them to learn in this manner will definitely help them to retain and make it effective.
true, true. I hope we have answered this question. If you have still a follow-up question, you may ask away. Meanwhile, again, just a reminder to parents, you can raise your hand or directly unmute yourself to ask the question. Meanwhile, I'll take another question that is from Priya ma'am, that many children struggle with concentration during online classes. Okay, yeah, well, I agree on this. So, Priyanshu ma'am,
Yeah, let me
yeah,
answer this. So for concentration, we can suggest these type of students to do meditation in the morning. If they will do 15 minutes meditation in the morning, that will be very helpful. Even I have done this in my school time, so it was very helpful for the concentration. So we can suggest them to do such practices. I think. Even parents can motivate them or make a schedule for them to do such practices.
correct, correct. Also, to check this whether the child is concentrating, we have quizzes almost placed at equal intervals of time. So that child has to concentrate, but that is a very good point, Priyanshu. Thank you so much. Another question from Miss Vaishnavi is, will AI and virtual reality make e-learning more immersive and interactive in the future? Well, certainly yes. Again, anyone like to shed some more light on this?
Okay, sir. I think we already answered this question, but for ma'am, I'm going to say it again. The AI and the virtual reality, yeah, VR, which we are using, it will make it interactive a lot. For example, in optics, when we teach the image formation in the concave and the convex mirrors, the traditional way of teaching is that I make the concave mirror, okay, then I keep the objects at different places, and with the help of the ray diagram, I see the image. But in case of this interactive, which we use tools, what we can do, the students can actually see it. And I have seen this in reality, because in one of the schools, I was given the section of class 10 students who weren't that good with the studies. So what I did is that I used these tools in the labs, in the virtual labs. So then, even the students who were not even interested in the studies, they said, sir, wow, this is good. So this is my example, real example from my life.
True, true. Very good. Very good point. I hope we have answered your question. If you still have follow-up question, ma'am, you are free to open your mic and ask away. All right. Moving on, one more question from Mr. Chaitanya is, will my child get personalized attention in an online class? Okay. I will just shed a very small thing for this. So first of all, your child will be in an online class. Yes. The personalized attention part. So after every class, the mentor will assure that you will get the report, as I mentioned before also, of how many questions, how many quizzes he has attempted right, or how many he has left. So that is one thing. Second of all, the dedicated mentor will be always there to uh, to talk to child, to understand what things are not going right, or what is not for only sister classes, even at school, what is going wrong, and how we, as a teacher, as an educator, can do to emphasize that. Anyone from the teachers panel would like to shed some more light on this? Kritima, maybe? You are muted, ma'am.
So personalized reports are the best solution for it. So I think that will be helpful. We are, when we are taking live classes, we actually ask student and we can see on the chat box who are present and who are not. So we take one by one name, like, what is the answer of this and what is that. So that's how personally we can connect, and by through mentors also, and by through personalized reports also.
True, true, very true. I hope we have answered your question, Mr. Chaitanya. Still, if parents have any doubts, I again would encourage them to please apply for. You can unmute yourself and ask away. We are free. You're free to ask whatever question you want. If okay, one more question I have. How can parent ensure their child's personal information is protected while learning online? All right. I wish our tech people were here to answer this question in more detail. Uh, Anyone of you would like to share some things on this? Nadeem sir. Nadeem sir, you're muted. I think
I
Nadeem sir is
be better answer by some tech team, like, because first of all, I didn't understand like what child's personal information is protected as in what.
I don't think that any child's personal information is there in the application. So
Yeah,
it
just the
is
name,
anyway protected only.
exactly.
name
Just
of
to
else.
Yeah, just to reflect on more on this is like the permissions that are taken from SISYA classes are very minimal. We don't take your contact information. We don't take access to media files or anything. So rest assured, this is the least of the worrying. Yeah,
There is
Even
no
you can
child's
register
person.
by using your email ID also. If you don't want to give
Yeah.
the phone number, you can register by email ID also.
Sorry, sir, I wasn't able to unmute here.
It's okay. It's
I
okay,
don't know.
sir.
I
It's
was
okay.
clicking on and it was not happening.
Yeah, completely fine, sir. All right. Next question we have from Gopika ma'am. What is age criteria to encourage e-learning? This is a good point. From which age we should start our kids to expose to the e-learning? I believe, yeah, and any of you would like to answer this.
Okay, again, it's like Kriti ma'am said to the question before that we can't generalize it. Okay, so if the parents are guiding their kids, then this isn't the thing to worry about, because the parents will be seeing that what the kids are doing. They can start from the very small age.
Correct, correct. Just wanted to emphasize on this. Like we have observed, in fact, I have observed in my like teaching career that one thing is like students even start attending classes from class one itself, and
Yes.
they see a huge change because in the conventional learning, where in the school they will be learning just addition, multiplication. At e-learning, see this is a very big huge advantage of having an IIT or NIT teacher straight from class one. Can you imagine any other platform or any other say where an IIT teacher or an NIT teacher is teaching a class one student? No, right? So this is a very huge advantage. And what does this do? Is it develops the brain of the child so that when he comes to fifth class, sixth class, seventh or eighth, and even after that, he has this mental ability. He has that mental strength to tackle with difficult concepts. Maybe in fact, in one of my classes, I was teaching in class one. I taught the class 10th arithmetic progression, and you'll be surprised how the first class student was able to recollect it and understand this. So that is one. I don't think that there's an age criteria. If it has to be,
No.
like, it depends on the child to child, of course, as mentioned by Nadeem sir. I
Yeah,
hope
and
we have
parents
answered.
need to watch out. That's
Exactly.
it. Nothing
In
more.
this case, yeah, from your childhood only it starts, like, I've seen nowadays I've seen both the parents are working, so, and someone has to engage with their child, and they have started giving phones. Obviously this video is happening, this is some cartoon going on, please watch this, so that they are also busy and parents can also work. Why don't we just give them phone to learn? Like, if you are showing them that this is what, if you have just said that, they're learning arithmetic mean, for chemistry they can know, they can learn elements, basic elements. If you are providing phone to your child for something to learn, then there is no age criteria defined. You can give them at at any age, and the purpose should be clear that you are learning. So from there, from their 2-3 years, they'll know that phone is used for learning. It is not used to
True.
play games or to watch fun videos and all. That should not be there.
Agreed. The potential is limitless. We can do so many things on this. Okay. I hope we have answered your question, Gopika ma'am. If you have any further question, first of all, I would really encourage you if you could come on mic, and it will be again a very huge privilege for us to answer the question. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. We have one more question in the chat box itself. It was clear. Thank you so much. So, how do you handle students who are not active participants in live classes? See, this is a very great point. Why? Because in offline classes, again, we have some kids who are shy. That can happen in online classes also. So, how will we handle the participants who are not that much active or not that much responding?
So, Rishabh sir, first of all, we need to see that why the students are not active. This is the main thing, that if I'm teaching the 50 students in the class, okay, if 20 of them are not active, there should be some reason to it. And for me, the most important reason for students not being active in the class is not interactive. Okay. But at SISYA classes, our classes will be interactive, that's for sure. Okay. And when it's interactive means that students will ask questions, students will interact with the teachers. Okay. And all of the teachers, they will make students talk, that's for sure. So for those who feel like their child is not active in the class, there is reason. The reason is the class is not interactive. But with us, the class will be interactive.
True, true, very true. Anyone, maybe Priyanshu ma'am would like to add on to this?
Yes, so if a student is not active in the class, in that way the educator plays a main role. That educator must must call their names, call them to reply in the chat, and they can ask their doubts in the chat also. So in that way, educator can ask each and every student to ask their doubts, or they should reply here. Even they don't know the answer, no problem. Even they can guess the question answer for every question. So in that way, the educator can do this thing.
True, true, true. One more thing I would like to point on this is one very famous thing that is that communication is 90% about hearing and 10% about what we say. So every child is a different. Some would like to, maybe ask questions. Some listen more. So that is one thing. I hope we have answered your question, sir. If you like to have a follow-up question, you may ask in the chat box, or you can come on mic as well. Meanwhile, I'll just take one more question. We have Mr. Chaitanya asking, nowadays students do not follow any timetable. Well, this is a very huge problem with, I think, every student. So how can e-learning platform help a student do that? I'll just reiterate this question in another manner. What I find why a student is not making any timetable to follow is the lack of motivation. So how can, I'll just reiterate, just tweak a question a bit. How can the students get the self motivation to, do things on their own, act as an agency of their own? Yes. Anyone?
Okay, so talking about the timetable, the students are not following timetable. Believe me, I've seen professionals also, they don't follow the timetable. Reason is simple, they don't have the clarity. Okay, get up in the morning, write down your tasks. Okay, obviously the students will not write it, the parents will do it for them. Okay, so write down the tasks and then they will follow it accordingly. Because when the goals are written, they will be followed clearly. If the goals are not written, this will be in haphazard manner. So that's what I would say.
Okay, great point. Kriti ma'am, maybe you would like to add on to this? You're muted.
This is something e-learning platform can help in, that I think that's comes not from the e-learning, it comes from your own mindset and clarity, or it can be from the peer, peer around yours, they are going, yeah, they're waking up at this time and they are playing around and they have their classes, so they are not missing it and they are focused upon that. So more than e-learning, it will be like, more of your passion towards, to become something. So I should say you should have some passion, you should have some dreams where you can be motivated and you should follow that. By this, if you have something to learn and, and to, that you want to achieve something, then it come by its own, the timetable, it
True.
again comes by own. So
Really true.
e-learning
And
will be part of
yes,
the only
and
help criteria.
and as we have mentioned before, we do have motivational classes as well, as rightly pointed by Priyanshu ma'am earlier. I hope we were able to answer your question, Mr. Chaitanya. Moving on, we have Mr. Snehal Raj. How can a student understand concepts deeply instead of just solving problems mechanically? Okay, so he's talking about how the students, make the student understand the conceptual knowledge rather than, the rote memorization. So for this, again, physics, let's take physics for one thing. So, sir, how do you enable this thing?
Okay, yes. So personally, me, I would say that even when, as I told you already at school, I wasn't that much interested in the studies. Reason was simple. Okay, the topics which are taught, they were not taught in the concept manner. Like if it is so, why it is so? Okay, it was just that it is it. You have to memorize it and you have to solve the questions. Okay, so what we will do with the physics is that we will make things very interesting. For example, I would say if we are studying the Newton's second law of motion, okay, when the students know that we are already applying it, okay, they will be obviously they will like it a lot. Okay, most of the I would say about the boys, okay, most of them are interested in the sports. Okay, I have taught in the boys' school for 2 years now, so I would say that all of them were excited when I gave examples regarding to the cricket. Okay, I would ask them questions. Hey, the wicket keeper you have seen, he takes the ball and he, does this. Why is it so? Okay. They say, yes, sir, we do it. But why do we do it? It's the application of the law. So when the student learns by this way, obviously the student will be interesting a lot, will take the interest in the subject. That's it. See, we never ask students to go out and play, right? For example, when we were kids, Rishabh sir, yeah, we
Correct,
just went
correct.
out and played because that was our interest. We could see the things happening. Similarly, in the education also, in the studies also, when the students see that we are already applying these things, or for example, how the ball swings, again, physics, right? So by these, examples, the things can be made very, very interesting.
That is a very good point. And clearly, in comparison to conventional e-learning has a upper hand on this. I hope we have answered your question, Mr. Snehal. Okay. Again, just a friendly reminder to all the parents. First of all, thank you for being with so long. If you have any other questions, I would really like to have a one-on-one conversation. You can also turn on your camera or your mic and ask away. Okay, one more question. What are some ways to ensure students don't feel isolated while studying online? Okay, this is a point coming from our initial discussion, and this point I believe Nadeem sir has covered this point before also. Maybe you would like to just cover it one more time, sir.
Okay, yes. The students don't feel isolated. I would say that, see, it happens in the offline classes. Sometimes the students feel isolated. But I would say about my class that whenever I'm in the class, in the offline class, I used to be in the class, that even the I see some student, he's feeling isolated. Okay, I would, bring him to the first bench and I would talk to him, what's happening. And in online setting, what we can do is that if some student is feeling isolated, for example, I know I have 50 students in the class. Okay, so I feel that obviously there will be some students interacting a lot with the teachers. Okay, similarly, it stuck in the mind that this kid is not answering, so it's the role of the educator now, then we will be asking questions to that student. Yes, hello, hi.
Hello. There was some interruption. I apologize for that. Nadeem sir, are you there? I think
The
there's some
question
network
is
issue.
answered.
Yes, Nadeem sir, you were saying?
Okay, okay. I'm saying that I hope the question is answered. Was I
Okay, okay.
audible? Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you.
And we lost you for some time, but I mostly
Right.
most of the part is clear.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope we have answered your question, sir. Any other parent, if you're having any other questions, make sure you ask right away. You can directly come on mic and ask your questions, or you can just type the answer. We'll be answering for you. Okay. Just to sum up what we have discussed up till now for the past 90 or so minutes. First of all, we have started about the importance of e-learning, the challenges that the e-learning we as an educator, the parents as well as students face in this. We discussed the importance of support from government and civil and public bodies as well, and how the efforts, the collective efforts can bridge this gap. Further, we discussed the learner profiles, how e-learning can, you know, enhance the different type of learners. Along with that, we tried to answer almost all of your questions. I apologize if I have missed anyone. All right.
Rishabh sir, I
Uh,
would add one more advantage to the online
yes.
learning,
Yes, sir.
e-learning. Can
Please.
I?
Yeah, please. Of course.
Okay,
Stage is
so I
yours.
would say, yeah, the theme we say the in our country, the tagline we say, unity in diversity. So kids will be interacting with the teachers from different cities. I am from Srinagar. The others are from Vizag. Pranchi ma'am is from other city. Kriti ma'am is from other city. So this is actually unity in diversity. The students learn from their beginning classes.
Very true. Very true. Okay, so final closing remarks. I will start with Kriti ma'am. See, at sister classes, we have three things. So I'll ask, first of all, Kriti ma'am, can you just reflect something on affordable? Priyanshu ma'am, can you something reflect on accessible? And finally, Nadeem sir, can you reflect something on availability? So affordable, accessible, and available, just for the closing remarks. Starting with Kriti ma'am.
You can afford the courses which we have on our SISYA app. It's not so much, and if you can see, there are some free courses also starting from rupees 1 and all. So definitely, if you compare with other coaching classes, the amount is very less, and I think this is my opinion. The course fee is somehow very minimal, which can be paid by most of the generation, most of the population here. So yes, affordability is definitely we have in our SISYA classes. You can see the prices of the courses; it's very minimal.
Great, great. Priyanshu ma'am.
Yes, it is accessible also. Even the students who are going to schools or any other places for their education, they can attend these classes as these classes generally happen on the evening. So evening, the students are relatively free from any other things. So it is accessible for all the students.
Great, great point. Nadeem sir.
Okay, regarding the availability, it is very much available. Like, for example, after the live classes, the students get mentors, even the AI feature also. So they can ask their doubts anytime. So it is available 24/7.
Great, great. Well, that was a wonderful discussion. I would again, first of all, thank you for all the parents, for all the attendees for being with us from the start. Again, I would like to thank all the panel members. Thank you for the very insightful discussion we had today, and thank you so much for your time.
It
We
was
will
a
be
pleasure
see.
to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So I'll be taking this chance to enter this discussion. I hope it was a wonderful session for all of you. If you have any further question, you may write to us at our email address of our sister class, or furthermore, if you would like to, you can contact the salesperson. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for joining. Have a great day.
Have a great